Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be episode 1 of my playthrough of Quatre Bra and Ligny versus Mark and Mark. Mark Hanna playing the Duke Wellington, and Mark Trowbridge playing the wily Blucher. And good old me playing Napoleon and Nay. Split personality. There you go. The redhead for Nay, bravest of the brave, and Napoleon, well, got the stomach for it. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this is a vassal playthrough on both battles. Now, the Quatre Bra is what's going to be focused on here because Quatre Bra starts at 2 p.m., where Ligny starts at 3 p.m. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get the whole of the 2 p.m. turn in. We'll see how we go. I don't want to make the video too long, but let's just see what comes up. Anything else? Oh yeah, if you could like the video, that'd be much appreciated. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and also check out Mark Hanna's got a YouTube channel where he features Napoleonic games and ASL and much more stuff in that too. Other than that, let's get down to the battlefield and discuss what's going on. Hey, the general battlefield. You can see the deployment areas. The key thing here is we're playing with the variable reinforcements. So for the French, that means that Erlon could appear here, or he could appear at the Ligny battlefield, or, as historically happened, he might not appear on either of them. The French also have the possibility of getting the rest of the reserve cavalry corps or Kellermans, rather than a couple of regiments that appear in the historical battle. There might appear more. Now, gaining these variable reinforcements cost victory points. The earlier they appear, the more victory points they cost. So if, like, Erlon arrives here at, I think the earliest he can arrive is about 3 or 4 p.m., he'll cost me quite a lot of victory points. If he arrives at 8 p.m., not so many. And Mark, the Wellington, has the same options. Now, currently on the board, we have the Dutch Belgians in extended deployment, the Prince of Orange over here, and a few more Dutch Belgians. It's the second Netherlands division. I have 3 French divisions of Rial's Corps, his cavalry, and Ney with some Imperial Guard light cavalry. Down here is my reinforcement point, and up here is Wellington, and I think some reinforcements also can appear over this side of the board too. So that's enough of that. Let's actually start going through the log. As I say, it's the battle starting here at 2 p.m. On the Prussian field, it starts at 3. Here's the turn record track. If you can see, it starts at 2 p.m. And the first thing we've got to determine who actually has the initiative on that first turn. So I'm going to go through the log file here. Another thing to note is that we use for the dice, we don't use the vassal dice. We use Warhorse Simulations Axe dice. I don't know why my mouse is doing funny things, but there we go. All right. Hello, Aaron. Yay. Good luck. Very nice of him. Here's the coalition turns first play determined roll. Now, I would like to also say there are going to be a few little errors. It was very difficult to work our way through the actual rule books to determine for the variable scenarios where they get placed on this actual turn record track and such forth. We got there in the end, so there might be a few parts where the video goes back and forth. I'll try and minimize them by using the pause button. Okay, so how many dice? Result of 5. Roll 2 dice for initiative, and as it says on here, -3 for the French, scenario 1 and 2 only. Okay, so he's rolled a 5 for the coalition. Okay, so I said to Mark that he could have made both rolls rather than him. It's one of the things about the vassal. You can make the other roll because, especially when we're using the external die roll system. But anyway, French roll was with the -3 modifier. Yeah, roll 11. That's not very good, is it? With two dice, with -3 equals 8. It's for the initiative, it's the lower roll. The system uses lower rolls as the better thing. So therefore, as Wellington is up, and therefore I'm probably going to end the log file at that point. Oh, I want to place to Earl on the turn track. This is where we sort of encountered our first issue with the module. That variable reinforcements are meant to come in. You get three counters. You get the real counter for the formation and two dummies. When you place them on the actual turn record chart, you shuffle them, face down, concealed, but neither player is meant to know which is the real and which is the dummy or dummies. So I came up with a proposal that when the first counter comes up, we roll to see if it's real or dummy, right? Because if I place them, I can see. Mark won't be able to see, but I know that it's a dummy or real. I'm not meant to know either. So that's why I propose a die roll solution, that when the first counter appears, as it's one of three, one or two it's real, five or six, I can't remember what, five or six real, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a dummy. You can still bring it on as a dummy. And what I mean by you can still bring it on, you bring the counter on. But to get the counters onto the board in the first place, you've got to pass an activation roll. Now, I'm just going to check to see if those are actually available on here. Where's the order of battles? Okay, so there's a chart which is called the Ultimate Battle of Quatre Bra, and it's got the reinforcement times. The earliest you can come on is at 4 p.m. So let me show you what that actually looks like. So I've got this little chart here. I'll bring it around. There we go. You can see at the bottom there, it says to Erlon and Resta Kellerman, and there's an entry die roll. So to Erlon it's 6, for Resta Kellerman it's 8. Now Resta Kellerman can come on at 2 p.m. and that'll cost me 100 victory points. Whereas to Erlon, the earliest he can come on is 4 p.m. and he'll cost me 8. If he doesn't arrive at that turn, at 5 p.m. it costs me 60. So I said 8, didn't I? I said 80 at 4 p.m., 60 at 5 p.m., 30 at 6 p.m., and so on. Now, that entry die roll, I've got to make that die roll first, and then I bring on the counter, and then I can see if it's dummy or real. I can see. My opponent can't. If I don't make that die roll, that's 6, then that counter is deleted, even if it's the real one. So, okay, so let's go back to share. Where's the share button? There it is. I know I'm yakking here. I'm making sure it's on the correct screen if you don't want to see other things. There we go. Right. So we're sharing again, and we're back on here. I'm making sure I've got the right screen up. I hope so. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so that's what's happening there. I'm sort of determining how the best to actually represent it. And it says I'll put one 5 p.m. 3 turns in advance of current turn, and then this is where we find out no, it's meant to be at 4 p.m. Then I asked the question how to get rid of these actual borders. There is a way, and that'll happen in a later video. Okay. Anyway, back to him for the first activation of the battle because he won the initiative. Okay, so we're going through. Mark's set up all his chits on here. Now, I'm not going to go in details of the actual rules of the game. You can see those in previous videos we've done. I've shown up time. Where it says dummy, we don't have to worry about that. We're not sure which is going to be which. We're going to make die rolls for those. Okay, so the first activation attempt is for the Picton, which is coming on as reinforcement, and he's not a variable. And he needs an 8 or less to bring Picton on. Roll is 6 are activated. Okay, then he goes on, brings on some other stuff here, and they start to come on. This hex mark with a triangle, 3 movement points, plus 2 for road, plus 1 hot top for hidden. So in they come along the road there, and they get marked to the 1 activation. Now, I know that at least one of those counters is real. And then the turn roll. Roller's 9, no. Now, what do we mean by the end of turn roll? Where is that chart? Oh dear. No, I haven't got it there. Turns. Right, there we go. And a turn roll. So if we roll higher than a 10, this counter here gets flipped. If it does get flipped, then it's higher than an 8 on a subsequent end of turn roll. The turn ends, no matter if all units have not been activated. So you're never sure how long a turn or how many activations you're going to get, hence why it's a priority to choose what you need to choose. Okay, keep that off the map so I don't have to keep searching for it. And okay, so to me. So the first thing I wanted to do was get rid of these borders. And I did that by pressing a button. And there we go, ready to go. Okay, then next up, just remove the setup areas. Rolling for Real. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in French, but he needs an 8. Real, sitting on his bum, rolls a 10. I didn't really want to activate Nay at this point, because if you fail on one activation roll, you can still roll for the other guys in your command. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted Real getting up there and then they following behind. I forgot that I could roll for bloody Kellerman at this point, because then I just went, pass. That was a waste of a time, but there we go. That's what I did. And a turn roll. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a 10. So, or higher than a 10. Okay, so back to Mark and his activation, and he decides to try and bring Wellington on. Needs 11 to bring him on, to activate. Rolls a not too eager 10. Okay, and then he goes on about some secret die roll again, which I'm not too sure about. But we then had some issues with bringing on the reserve artillery. Could they be brought on now, 2 p.m., or do you have to wait? You made a die roll, then it determined that we can't bring them on. There was a couple of text messages or emails and such forth that were debating that, and it determined that you can't bring them on at this present moment. There was a lot of waffle in here, which I'm just avoiding. And then he brings on the Iron Duke himself. Well, that might be a real counter. One of these is going to be real. Where does the man himself go? Why he's got little 2 activation on there, he should only have 1 activation because it's his first time. And then makes end turn roll. Rolls 4, so no, back to Nay. There were quite a few log exchanges where we were still working out these variable reinforcements and such forth, but I think we were starting to get down into the nitty gritty that we were looking like something like this. Okay, that's Turlon. I can start rolling for at 4 p.m. Brunswick's, I don't think they were variable anyway, and they've got some Altons and other ones there. So they were placed on the chart ready to go. So the last thing we did was activated Wellington, so it was over to me. I decided to try Real again. Okay, and he needs a 9. He needs an 8. You've got to go equal to or less than his score, which is an 8. So I rolled for him, and I rolled a 9. So, still not activated. Okay, so I thought I'll bring Kellerman on, or try and bring Kellerman on. Now, to bring him on was that variable reinforcement chart. Rolls a 9, so can enter. Now rolling for the first attempt of Kellerman's additions. Roll 6, so they do too. So Kellerman is at full strength. And now to determine if it is a real counter or not, I sent a secret die roll to the Prussians. One of the strict instruction he can't tell the British. You trust each other. Roll made. So as I said there, the Kellerman counter coming on board is either the dummy or real, whilst the actual units are those that I get automatically. because I automatically get a couple of units. I think it's 2, and then the rest of the core is a lot if I get it. I'm not going to tell you guys because then obviously if Mark watches this, he knows or not. So I'm not saying anything. So the Kellerman counter there is that the real? Wait, it definitely can't hold on. If we look at the order of battle, where's the order of battle? There they are. Okay, so we're looking at France for scenario 2. He gets 2 units in the full. If we are playing the full battle with the variable reinforcements. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a lot of units. However, if I do get him and he does come on, that's 100 victory points I've just given to the coalition. Anyway, in they come and moving up the road. Not sure why they're showing 2 activation rather than 1, because they've only been activated once. And I think, as I mentioned, they're not showing why 2 activations. Looked at the command, couldn't work out how to change it. Okay. And then Wellington, we managed to change Wellington back to a 1. Remember that was showing 2. And then I managed to work out, get Kellerman to show only 1 activation rather than 2. Okay. End of turn roll. And it was a 4, so no end of turn. Okay, so yeah, Mark's saying, yeah, Real did that to me when he played this as the French. Yeah, just sits on his bum. Come on, Real. I forgot to put Kellerman's orders on the order track, which I did there. There was a little bit of correction needs to be done. Activation will try Netherlands cavalry from offboard and need 9 for Merlin. Okay. So these regular reinforcements, can we actually see them? Where are they coming in? He's sorting them out. Yeah, I'm not going to show us shuffling counters and such forth. That have no relevance to what's actually going. But here they come on the board. Movement is 8. +2 for trail or road. Here they go. Now, which one is those as the real counters? And a turn roll. 7 on end, back to A. Okay, so it's back to me. So I try for Real again. Rolling for Real, roll a 3, and therefore he finally gets off his butt. Okay. So Real has got effectively 3 infantry divisions and a cavalry division. I can activate these as I wish, but I'm declaring 5th division first. And here they go. Approaching the Allied front. I think I made a few mistakes in the move, and those are going to be corrected in the next few logs. 6th division. Moving up the road, they get a road bonus of 2. What is my aim here? Well, I need to get rid of those Dutch Belgians as soon as possible. Because the Allied reinforcement rate, especially if he brings on all these variables, is phenomenal. So I need to push and push hard. So here they keep coming. And up the road. Artillery's quite slow, showing the command range of Real. Make sure he keeps everyone within his command range. And I make a mistake here on the cavalry. I counter that as 1 movement point, and that's going to be brought up in one of the logs. Because we had a debate, is that a sunken road, not sunken road? See, this is definitely a road. This is a trail. But on the terrain effects chart, it gets them confused. So he agreed that a sunken trail and a sunken road have the same penalty movement point wise. I hadn't taken that into consideration at that point. So the end of the turn roll, rolled 11. Ooh. Remember, it's going to be 10 or higher. So that would then flip that marker there. So I'll put it onto the track and then I flip it. That means any roll higher than a 9, oh, I think it was an 8 actually on that one. Any whole roll higher than an 8, so 9 through to 12, will actually end the turn. So time is running short for the pair of us already. We've only activated, not most formations haven't even activated yet. So as Mark was saying, Mr. Wellington, time is flying. So he better get Papontier activated, needing an 8. Because remember, any end of turn roll that's higher than an 8, so 9 through to 12, ends the game. Ends the turn, sorry, not the game. He fails, he rolls a 9. Ooh, I like that. Because the punch is all split over and I'm moving up that road as quickly as possible. Any sharp-eyed of you will have noticed that my cavalry is slightly different because we did work out and determine that that does have a higher terrain cost. So try to march Picton. Picton needs an 8. Rolls a 5, they can move. And Picton is these boys at the back here. So here they come. They voluntary reveal and deploy. Okay. He goes into the rules on criteria. Okay, he spotted me. And he's now deploying them. There's all the units. And I'm not going to go into details of where he's deploying them. So he just moves, sorts them around. He's putting them along the road. There we go. And turn roll. Oh, it's a 6. We keep going. Okay, so we go through that. I can't activate Real again because you can't activate 2 formations straight after each other. In the sense that I've done Real in my last activation. He then didn't. Was it Picton? Back to me. I can't do Real again until I've done another formation or done a pass. So I think I'll go for Nay. Rolls an 8 and it's activated. Nay's got level 10, so yeah, he's off. And yeah, sticking to the trails, quicker to move through this town. It's a bit nasty. We get an extra movement point moving on the trails. Nothing too exciting here. I think this is going to get corrected as well. Mark's very quick to notice any obvious mistakes that I make. Now the end of turn roll, drum beat. It's a 4. Okay, so the next log file reveals you're about to move the last stack of Nay's guard carry. So yeah, this is where I get pulled up again by Mr. Hanna. Yeah. I miss the upslope. So you just show me where I could have gone or should have gone. Checking Nay's command radius. So done. So this is just a repeat. So he's now going to try and activate that one. Perpontier. Needs an 8. Activate the 7. Hooray. So some of the units are out of command. Fires an artillery battery. This is the first shot of the game. Not sure what 114 means, but anyway, he's highlighting the unit and the target. So it would result in a QFT, which I pass easily, and then the units start to move. Yeah, the sequence of play, when you activate gate, division, whatever the activation formation is, you do the firing and then you do the movement. And as I say, I'm not going to go into too much rule details. If you want to see the rule details, you can go in our playlist. There's a playthrough of First Eagles with myself and Mr. Trowbridge playing, and there's also Mr. Hanna has got a playthrough, I think, of Waterloo with a lot more rules details. I'll mention rules where necessary. If you can see just behind this counter here, there's like a little splurge warrant. That means it's fired. To move through that hex, no, to move out of that hex will cost now 3 movement points. It's showing the amount of time it's taken to fire. So he's sort of pulling back and then pulling forward. Okay, there they go, backwards. Suits me. Yes, I'd like to get as much contact with them as soon as possible, but if they're falling back, that means I can move more forward. Then the out command dudes, he's got to make a roll on their quality to actually get them to move. Rolls a 2. So yeah, he goes on about leader generation. That's ASL talk, that is. That means they can move 3 movement points. They can move half the rate. If they fail the roll, they can move 1 hex. So okay. He's got to reveal their orders. It's just change. Oh, you put the wrong marker down. Okay, there they go. All finished and done. He's checking how far he's moved from orders. And a turn roll. It's a 3. So another French go. So we had that initial high roll, and now again, so anything higher than an 8 would end the actual activation, the turn. Okay, so I want to have Real go again. He needs an 8, remember? So a roll of a 4 is a yes. I'll place, that's Real's orders there. That's where he can't move further away from that with any of his units. You can see Real has now got a 2 on his counter, showing that he's had 2 activations. Each formation can have a maximum of 2 activations. There are a few little exceptions, but if your overall commander gets a chance to have a say, all units are in command range. There's no firing. We're moving. I want to engage, as I say, Paponche as soon and as quickly as possible. I want to hurt it. If I can get it to below half strength, it's demoralize. That formation is not going to be useful for combat. So here I'm moving close to go into combat. Here they come. Now that one there, notice I went from there to there. Yeah, I'm going to be brought up again. So I moved away from my orders in the distance. So there will be a bit of to and fro. That unit will move a little bit. And Real himself moving up the road. So we want to engage as much as possible. Now, continuing the approaches. Some light infantry at the rear there coming up. I did say I believe that all units have complied with orders. Yeah. I'm going to get pulled up on that one. And then I've got to show my melee decorations. Okay. I'm marking the flag with the lead unit, but I'll get informed that that probably isn't necessary. So then it's over to Mark for the defensive orders. Okay, so we're going to start with some defensive fire from Paponchia's boys. Just calculate my odds. Okay, solid attack with some cavalry flankers to the annoyance of orange peering through the trees, as he will highlight now. Okay, we'll start with the defensive fire of the 1st, 2nd Netherlands unit. He will target the cavalry, infantry fire at the clear, 0 modifier, and he rolls a 2. Best result you can get. Excellent shot. Darn it. That's a QFT2 and a step loss. QFT2 means my morale of that unit. Let me just zoom a little bit in here. So the morale of that unit is that little number in the middle. That's its QFT rating. The higher, the better. You've got to roll equal to or less to pass. QFT2 means there's a +2 modifier. So QFT2, they roll an 8, which is a net 10, which is 3 over the score required, 7. That is a rout. First infantry shot of the game, and the first red route is to the French. Means they've got to go back 3 hexes. On the road, yeah, it doesn't matter. He's working out. Maybe that's my choice when it comes to me going through my log file. Not good. Next unit shooting. I think that would have put the other guy on top. I don't know why he's adjusting my stacking, but okay. Two against the 2nd Netherlands, firing at the 93rd line. 0 modifier, roll as a 6, no effects. You've got to roll quite low to affect any shooting off with infantry. It's about 5 or less. I'll say about. I've got the table right next to me. For fire table infantry, you've got to get a 5 or less on 2d6. And for artillery, you've got to get a 7 or less on 2d6. So, no effect. And the last one, he's got some guns there. Firing on the light infantry. We'll go hard and stubborner at the 4th Liga stack. No split. So you could split fire because you could fire the infantry, but then there'll be a +1 modifier. Artillery only, -1 for canister. Okay, which is actually not quite right. He's got a +1 for the artillery because only 3 steps can fire out the sunken road, but I don't think that'll make much difference. Oops, oh, he did notice it. Only 3 factors can fire. So stamina versus 4th Liga, 0 modifier. Rolls a 7, it's a QFT. They've got a QFT of 8. Rolls a 5 pass, looks back for stamina and company. Okay. I don't think you'll need those markers, as he says, but I put them back. Melee to you. Okay, so the actual melees itself. Not happy about their outs, but there we go. I'm allowed to cancel an attack, which I do. So 1 infantry against, I didn't think was a good idea. No, they just cancelled that attack. Right, first assault then. That stack versus that stack. 21 versus 9. So I've got 11 plus 10, 21 versus his defense of 9. Okay, it's 2 to 1. It's -2 modifier. And +1 for the terrain, he gets defense for the sunken road. So quality is the same. He's got a quality of 7. I've got a quality of 7. Net -1. Remember, rolling low is good. Roll of 6 -1's a 5. That's a QFT 1 on the melee table. You've got a firing table and you've got a melee table. I don't think anything. No, you can't see the tables on this at the moment. Okay, roll of 7, which is an 8. That means remember the QFT 1 adds 1 to the die roll. He's failed that result. That means he has to either take a step loss or retreat. So I'm going to leave that choice with him. I will continue with the next assault. Okay, so it's just 2 stacks going in. which is 29 plus 24. There's a maximum of 30 steps can be involved from a hex, unless you're attacking into towns or farms and such. Well, they're only maximum of 20. But 29 plus 24 is 53 versus 9, 5 to 1. The artillery doesn't add anything to the defense. See, I said I'm not going to go into the rules, and I'm going into the rules. I can't stop myself. So it's -5 for odds. Remember, low is good. +1 for the terrain, and -1 for the Q of T. Okay, I've got a Q of T of 8, and his infantry's got a Q of T of 7. It's against the infantry we're looking at here. Therefore, net -5, because my quality is a little bit better. I roll a 2, which is the best roll I could do, which equals a -3. Okay, that's off the chart. 2 is the lowest on the chart. Now, if he'd been in the open, that would have been an automatic elimination. If it's a negative number and it's in the open ground, it isn't in this case, because he's got the defense of the road. So we've got to follow the result that's on the actual chart. Sad, but true. At least they were not in the open, as I mentioned there. So it's a QFT plus R. That means he's got to do 2 morale check, testing on the infantry, and reduce. It means that both units are lowered, tripped over. But you do the QFTs, the morale checks, on the side that's up at the present moment. Okay, so roll over 10 plus 2, yeah, they rout. Okay, so doing the R, that reduces the units. So you can see now the infantry are reduced to a 5-step rather than 9 with a QFT of 6. The artilleries are reduced from a 5-step to a 2. Now the rout will artillery that is routed must lose a step. It's already lost a step, so it will be eliminated. And the infantry then rout back 3 hexes. Straight back. Okay. He can adjust that as he wishes. I think it's fine. I advance. Only 1 infantry unit can advance. And in they go. Right. I remove some flat. If you retreat with it, then yeah, I'll just show where it can go. End of turn roll. Still not the end of turn. Let me just zoom out a little bit there. Okay. Okay. So in this log, it was into splice. So his unit that I attacked here retreated back. I could then advance 1 unit forward. The unit that routed has gone there. I advanced there. And yeah, that was not too shabby for an attack. Pushing back, and I'll now seclude the road. This one sort of isolating this guy, which I like. So he can't activate Papontier because that was the last guy he activated, so he has to go and choose someone else. So he's going to try to Brunswick to enter, needs a 9 to activate. Rolls a 99. He should got, yeah, so he rolled 2 dice or rolled a percentage. I'm not sure what happened there. He's then working out which guy to actually random roll to work out which counter's coming in. So they're coming in from the top here, the Brunswickers. This is a reasonable sized division. Not sure again why they keep going on with the 2, but here they go. Right, there we go. Down the road. And a turn roll? Nope, the game continues. Okay, so back to me. So I'm going to activate Kellerman if I can. Needing a 9, rolls a 9, off they go, up the road. Remember, we're not sure. I know. To be fair, Blucher knows. Is this just 2 units, or is this a whole shebang? Or is it dummy? Well, we know he's real, but is this the full rest of it, or is it just in the wind? +2 for road, and a turn roll. I rolled a double 6, and that endeth the turn. And then we go through what's called an end of turn phase. So the activations are finished. we get Nay's command only activate once, so we'll activate now. Now, this is where it's a little bit dubious. In the end of turn phase, you have a sequence where you can activate anything that has officers, leaders. There's a difference between the two that have only actually activated once can do a strap move as long as they're not within 4 hexes or any of the units within 4 hexes of the enemy. Now, Nay is a commander, not an officer or a leader, but he has got units attached. So I thought he could go, and we did have a little bit of a debate offline if that's fair or if that's allowed, and we decided it was. So there. And in they go. Yeah. Taking back and putting glasses on. I forgot about the road. Remember, they can't go within 4 hexes of the enemy. Over to you for that, for his strat moves. So it begins with the NLC, these guys here. I think that's a Dutch light cavalry, or the Netherlands light cavalry. And voluntary disband there. I think, yeah, just kidding. Yes, he is a real unit. Now, Brunswick. I think this is where he's going to... No, I can do this. They can move through, yes. I think at this point he's going to activate the formation. Napoleon himself can activate, but his units can't. I wasn't aware of that the officer can activate even if he's some of his units are out of range. I had to check the rules on that and go, oh. And he used at this point to voluntarily reveal Brunswick. There he is. So I'm going to pause here for a moment while he sets up. So as you can see, they are all gathered around the Quatre Bra crossroads. And then we've got, that's all strat moves done. So we've got route phase. We've got to go the moon rate, and he's gone back to the road because it's the quickest way. And then it should be my unit to route, but I think he went a little bit further just in the turn marker. Okay, so I'm doing my routes now. Yeah, cavalry can route a great distance. Nay's orders. Okay, which is actually technically the start of the next turn. Which rolls 2 equals 0. And it's a die roll -3. Might as well show his next orders, which will be into log 24. Oh, he then adjusts my routing. Just moving them on one hex further. Nay's orders, as I say, I roll a 0, no order change. You roll a d6 and subtract 3. So I roll a 2, no order changes allowed. His orders rolls a 1, so no changes either. He then makes an initiative roll, -3. 6 net 3. On the actual beginning of that turn, -3 for anger allied. I got -3 on that turn. He gets -3 on turn, the 3 p.m. turn. He does my roll. I roll 7. Looks like Wellington's up first. And that will end the video. Or end. us going through what we're doing here. So let me bring it back to, well, let's have a quick look at the map. Okay, so we have Real acting quite aggressively, moving us forward to, that's his orders. And we have Paponche, who's taken a bit of a lick on the first turn, the 2 p.m. turn, but it's still in relatively good order. We have Kellerman coming as fast as he can up the road with either 2 or 11 units, or was it 10 units? And Ney with his guard moving closer. Brunswick's setting up in and around the crossroads of Quatre Bra, and the situation with Picton as he's marched down the road. Either one of those is Wellington, we're not sure. And that's it. Oh yeah, some Dutch cavalry. Either sneaking here or sneaking there, sneaking everywhere. Okay, let's go back to the top. Well, that took, playing-wise, go log files and such forth, from the 30th of July to the 16th of August. So didn't take that long. Okay, we haven't started the Ligny, which was the 3 p.m. turn, and well, as we actually have started the Ligny now, and Quatre Bra, the next turn has been started. But no spoilers. I'm not going to say anything so far, but there has been an exchange of about another 5 or 6 logs. So I'm quite happy with the way the first turn went. I've got quite a bit about the field. I was a bit worried when the end of turn roll ended quite quickly, the first stage, but we did get quite a few activations. Real got his 2 activations. Happy about that. Wish the guard cavalry had got 2 activations, but you can't have everything. So yeah, quite happy with where the situations go at the moment on the Quatre Bra field. Obviously, nothing has happened on Ligny as yet for you guys. Anyway, I hope that was enjoyable. Let me know in the likes. Well, like the video if you did enjoy it. Like the video if you thought it was okay. Like the video if you thought, if you disliked it, dislike it, but tell me why in the comments. Because again, the only way I can learn and do this better is if you tell me why you didn't like it. And the comments, as always, much appreciated. Let us know what you think of how it went. Is it interesting? Is it, this video might be quite long because I shot it all. I could have done it into 2 segments, but I shot it all. I'm got a little bit carried away going back over what the situation was. So yeah, if it's a bit long, sorry, that's down to me. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what I do. But also check out, as I said, Mark Hanna's channel. He's got some interesting stuff on there. And Mr. Trowbridge, he doesn't have a channel. He just joins in and sort of leeches onto the pair of us and other people apparently too. Play games, have fun, and buy internet.